consuming alcohol, especially on the water and the sun, the effects of that are magnified.
Law enforcement making sure everyone has a safe 4th of July holiday. We are joining them for Operation Dry Water.
Plus, it's some of the hottest weather we've had this year, meaning firefighters will be battling more than flames this 4th of July.
And an iconic Kingsport statue getting a facelift. News 5 at 6 starts right now.
Accurate, reliable, getting the facts right. News 5 in high definition starts right now.
And thanks for joining us for News 5 at 6. I'm PJ Johnson.
And I'm Julie Newman. Right now, we are preparing for the hottest days this year so far.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Dirks joins us now with the latest on how hot it really is, Dave.
Yeah, hey guys, this is getting serious, this heat wave for sure. 4th day in a row at or above 90 in the Tri-Cities, and that current feels-like temperature is still at 99 in Rogersville. We've got 91 in Bristol and Lebanon, 87 the current heat index in Irwin. Now tomorrow, at least briefly, we'll likely see those heat indices get close to 100 degrees during the mid to late afternoon hours. Of course, that is in the danger category, and so just some common sense things here. Try to avoid strenuous activity during the heat of the day between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water or sports drinks and dress smart. Wear white, light-fitting clothes, and perhaps consider wearing a big brimmed hat. All right, let's go talk about what I'm covering here in just a few minutes. I'll show you Power 5 Doppler radar, where there are a couple of cooling showers, plus near-record highs tomorrow, and hot forecast on the 4th, but I'm timing the arrival of some cooler air. I'll let you know when to expect that in just a couple minutes.
I would love to have it now, Dave. Thanks. The condition of a Bristol, Tennessee firefighter is improving after a fire-damaged apartments at Heritage Oaks condominiums. Fire officials say his prognosis is looking better, but there's no timetable for his recovery. Still no word if the extreme heat contributed to that injury. Now, the heat did make conditions very dangerous for all of the firefighters on the scene. News 5's Mike Lucas shows us how local firefighters battle the elements in summer.
It was so hot at the fire on Robinson Walk in Bristol on Sunday, neighbors worked nonstop to keep the fire crews cool.
They were very kind and brought water and Gatorade and ice and towels, and we appreciate those folks' help.
The Kingsport Fire Department doesn't need help to beat the heat, thanks to their one-of-a-kind rehab bus.
We can have refreshments, we can have cooling or heating, depending on what our firefighters need to help them stay healthy.
It's a converted school bus that now acts as a mobile hydration station for firefighters as they battle blazes under the summer sun. Temperatures inside burning buildings can reach a boiling 700 degrees, which is why firefighters work in shifts to keep from suffering fatigue. Too much time in temperatures like that can lead to heat exhaustion, heat strokes, and dehydration. It doesn't matter what the temperature is when firefighters put their gear on. It weighs 60 pounds and the sweat starts pouring out.
Our firefighters are well aware if they've stopped sweating, if they start feeling dizziness and things like that, that they need to pull themselves and their team out, and we will replace them with another team while they're getting rehabbed at our bus.
In Kingsport, Mike Lucas, News 5 WCYB.
Mike also learned the rehab bus is stocked with snacks, water, Gatorade, benches. It also has a pull-out canopy for shade. Ricky says they've kept it on scene for upwards of 8 hours at a time, just depending on the situation.
Many are heading to area lakes, trying to seek some relief from the heat and celebrating the 4th of July. Law enforcement agencies are focusing on detecting boating under the influence, trying to reduce serious and fatal accidents. News 5's Olivia Bailey went with Conservation Police as Operation Dry Water gets underway.
This is Cole Reynolds' first time camping with his papa John, and they've already had fun through the weekend.
Going out on the boat and we're going to Observation Knob and watching the fire.
They came from Russell County to spend the week at South Holston Lake and enjoy the Independence Day holiday.
Eating out, cooking steaks and baked potatoes. We're just having a big time.
And they're not alone. This is one of the busiest boating holidays of the year.
Y'all caught anything?
That's why Virginia Conservation Police are out making sure boaters are operating safely on the water.
Looking for general reckless operation, things like that. People allowing passengers to ride on the decks and gunnels and motorboats.
It's part of Operation Dry Water, a national effort through the holiday to increase awareness of the dangers of boating and drinking.
It is illegal and it continues to be a leading factor in fatalities and accidents that involve injury on the water.
Sheet says the sun, heat, and water all contribute to the effects of alcohol. Being aware will allow you to focus on some of the best aspects of boating, like who caught the biggest fish.
I guess my son Petey, but now Cole was caught the most.
On South Holston Lake, Olivia Bailey, News 5 WCYB.
In Virginia, boat drivers with a blood alcohol level that exceeds 0.08 can be arrested for BUI. They face up to a year in jail and a $3,500 fine. The punishment is similar in Tennessee.
Federal lawsuits have been filed on behalf of 4 Southwest Virginia counties against more than a dozen of the nation's major drug manufacturers and distributors. Attorneys representing the localities announced today that lawsuits have been filed on behalf of Smith, Bland, Carroll, and Grayson counties. In the Western District of Virginia, the attorneys anticipate 4 additional counties joining suit. The counties are seeking compensation for additional law enforcement, social service, and medical expenses they say incurred, all because of the opioid epidemic.
Here in Southwest Virginia, money's tight. It's always been tight, and right now it's been a really difficult time for our localities to have to reach deeper into their pockets over these last few years and come up with these additional monies in their budgets.
The additional lawsuits are expected to be filed within the next week. We've placed more information on these specific cases on our website, WCYB.com.
With trade disputes playing out around the world, soybean farmers in Tennessee and Virginia are waiting to see whether they will lose their biggest customer. News 5's John Engel found out how local farmers could be significantly impacted by tariffs from China.
China's leader. President Trump following through on a campaign pledge to hold China accountable on trade could mean even tougher conditions for farmers in Tennessee and Virginia. China takes in 50% of American soybeans and has threatened tariffs in retaliation to President Trump's tariffs on steel and aluminum, which has local grower Mike Saylor concerned.
It will reflect back to the farmer, I'm sure, no matter what it is. If it's less sales or lower price.
China has yet to move forward with the tariff on soybeans, but just the threat means farmers will soon have to make a tough decision.
Changes in trade regulations do sometimes have some rapid effects on the price of our products.
Some lawmakers are trying to rally support to protect farmers from a potential trade war. Virginia Senator Tim Kaine took up the cause following Virginia's biggest year on record for production of soybeans.
Soybeans, chicken, apples, pork, these are important industries in Virginia that are now being hurt as this president escalates a needless trade war.
Others argue China has to be held accountable now in order to prevent further imbalance in the trade deficit down the road.
I think the president said, look, free trade is great, and I want to have free trade. As a matter of fact, I don't really like tariffs, but it ought to be, at least it ought to be fair.
A study by the University of Tennessee found American soybean farmers could lose as much as $7.7 billion through a 25% tariff from China. John Engel, News 5, WCYB.
And Dave Dirks is joining us next with both heat and a cool down on the way. How about that?
I'd love that cool down. And Southwest Virginia government's reorganizing with the new fiscal year. The new faces are still ahead.
The Storm Track 5 weather team, alerting you to severe weather danger.
Well, for the 4th consecutive day at the Tri-Cities, temperatures exceed 90 degrees. And we're still pretty toasty out there right now. As we look live from Kingsport here, Holston Valley Medical Center, 88 is the current temperature, and with a dew point of 68, our heat index, or the feels-like temperature right now, stands at 92. So a couple of cooling showers, not many, 2, but we'll take a look at one now in parts of Greene County. Heading over Interstate 81, there's Graysburg up toward Geraldstown, pushing off to the north. Couple of lightning strikes with that, and a pretty decent little downpour, small one, but just crossed north of Highway 421 between Mendota and Hilton, so right along the Scott-Washington County line, and a couple of showers also in Smith County. But looks like most of us are going to stay dry, but for the next couple of hours, there might be a couple of hit-or-miss showers. Overnight tonight, lows will drop down to about 65 to 70. Check this out, though, my friends. Take a look at what we're forecasting for high temperatures. Now, this is not the heat index. This is what we're forecasting for a high temperature. It looks like mid-90s in the Tri-Cities, at least low to mid-90s, including the Greenville, Rogersville area, about 86 Roan Mountain, Boone at 84 degrees, but much of Southwest Virginia will be topping out in the upper 80s to low 90s as well. And with the humidity thrown in the mix, this is what it's going to feel like. Yeah, 98 degrees will be the heat index around 2 p.m. Going to feel like about 100 at 4 p.m. and still about 100 at 6 p.m. But we'll actually see highs in the low to mid 90s. And there might be a couple of splash and dash showers showing up on our Power 5 Doppler radar tomorrow. Here's one of our short-term forecast models. Notice the very random nature of the activity, so it's not going to be all-inclusive, that's for sure. But what develops could at least briefly cause some heavy rain in a few spots. And then for the 4th of July, similar conditions, about a 20% chance of an afternoon shower or thunder shower. And again, it's one of those situations where we're not advising you to cancel plans, but maybe you have to bring things indoors for an hour or so, or maybe not even that long as these showers develop in a few areas. But it'll still be pretty decent, I think, for those evening fireworks. 90 degrees at 6 p.m. on Wednesday. 8 p.m. temperature about 82 and partly cloudy and humid at 10 p.m. with temperatures in the upper 70s. Today's high of 92 was quite a ways away from the record of 97, but notice the record high on Tuesday is 95, and on the 4th of July, it's 95 as well. We're going to be close to those records, I think, as we go through the next couple of days, but there is some relief on the way. Not coming soon enough, probably, right? But there will be hot temperatures sticking around on the 4th. Notice about 94 in the Tri-Cities. Even on Thursday, I think we'll be around 90, but take a look at what happens into Friday, with 80s showing up on the scene, and that's going to be with our next weather maker, a cool front that's going to be dropping in from the north, and that's going to give us a good chance to scatter showers and thunderstorms on Friday into Friday evening. I think we could see some of that activity continue on Saturday. Looks like at least one of our computer models suggesting we'll see some drier air coming in on the back side of that front. So at this point in time, I'm going to leave Sunday and Monday dry, just because I'm an optimistic person. But we do expect a pretty good chance of showers, thunderstorms as that cold front swings on through the Tri-Cities, but it's going to stay hot through Thursday, and then we'll cool off into low to mid 80s for highs on Friday and Saturday, and a little less humid and seasonably warm temperatures expected on Sunday and Monday with highs in the 80s, and lows could actually get down the upper 50s to low 60s early next week, but don't count on that happening the next couple of days. Definitely going to be a hot 4th of July.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, a little firecracker forecast.
Yes, it is indeed.
All right, Davey.
Bring your sunscreen. Up next, a literal facelift for a local landmark. Big John's head is being replaced. The big unveiling coming up next.
You by Johnson City Honda.
Time now for our salute to local veterans. Today we're recognizing Dakota Bowman from Gray, Tennessee. He is serving in the U.S. Army stationed right now in Colorado. Dakota Bowman, we salute you.
Bristol, Virginia City Council endorsed its leadership for the next fiscal year. The council's goal, growing revenue and cutting debt. It marked Neil Osborne's first meeting as a newly elected member of the council. He replaces Archie Hubbard. Randy Eads has been appointed to city manager on a permanent basis after he served as the interim manager. And Mayor Kevin Mumpower also voted another one-year term. He continues to focus on improving the city's finances.
We're looking at changing the charter to do things like put a maximum threshold in for debt service, make sure we build up some reserve accounts for specific things like capital funding and school building funds.
Kevin Wingard also voted to serve another year as the vice mayor. 3 new faces joining the Abingdon Town Council this morning. During the organizational meeting, council members picked Wayne Craig as the new mayor. Council members say they're eager to move forward, especially after the recent contention over the Meadows project. Craig also says the search for the new town manager is ongoing, and it could take several more months. And he also says they have more than 30 applicants.
A Kingsport landmark getting a facelift. Literally, it has lost its head back in April. We're talking about the iconic Big John statue outside Pratt's Barbecue. Workers are restoring it right now and will unveil the 10,000-pound statue's new face on Wednesday. Mark Klein rebuilds fiberglass props for figures all over the U.S. He says the statue was made of concrete, and as the concrete eroded, the fiberglass neck gave way.
It was pretty imperative to make it as close to and as identical as the original. I think after we put this up there and people will be driving down the road and they look up at it, they'll never know the difference between that and the original that was up there for all these years.
It's taken 3 weeks to design the new statue. Klein says he hopes it will last for years to come. Casey Getz joining us now in sports.
And we had an old school finish in NASCAR yesterday, a lot of beating and banging.
Yeah, Kyle versus Kyle down the stretch, and the Kyle that always seems to win won again. We're going to relive the final lap. It was awesome. Sports is next. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s first race in the booth gave NASCAR's best finish of the season. Chicagoland was the scene yesterday. Final lap, Kyle Busch in the lead, but Kyle Larson was in hot pursuit just lap after lap. He was getting closer and closer, and finally, Larson makes contact, knocks Busch into the wall a little bit, really slows him down so he could pass Kyle Busch. So Kyle Larson, that 42 car, takes the lead, but you know, if Busch gets a chance, he is going to retaliate, and he gets to the back bumper, and he spins Larson. Busch kind of goes up into the wall again, but his car is able to hold it, and Kyle Busch gets the win at Chicago. Afterwards, the winning Kyle gave us a play-by-play of the exciting finish.
I was like, surely he's not going to drive in the side of me. And then he did. And so after that point, I was kind of like, okay, well, all games are off right now. All bets are off. And it's wide open here from here on out to back to the checkered flag. So he got by me, and getting into turn 3, it was just about following him in there and seeing if I couldn't cut left under him, if he would slide up. He didn't slide up, so I drove off in there as far as I could, and I got into the back of him. A product of kind of once it's done to you, then it's fair game.
Now, yesterday's win by Kyle Busch continues the dominance of NASCAR's Big Three this year. Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., those three have won 13 of the 17 races so far in 2018. Busch and Harvick each have 5 wins. Truex has 3. Take a look at these numbers. Mentioned the wins, 13-4, the Big Three to the rest of the drivers. Stage wins, 17 stage wins for Truex, Harvick, and Busch, 18 for all other drivers. Playoff points are nearly 2-1, 75-37 in favor of the Big Three. And how about laps led? 2,349 for the Big Three and 2,623 for the others. Really remarkable how dominant the three have been so far, and there's really no sign of it slowing down anytime soon. And finally, some World Cup. This was the comeback of the World Cup so far. Belgium down 2-0 to Japan with about 20 minutes left. So in soccer, that's a pretty insurmountable lead. Look at that header, though, by Belgium. Makes it 2-1. They scored again to make it 2-2. Now in the final seconds, this is like a basketball team running a fast break. How fast they got from one end to the other. And in the final seconds, Belgium scores again 3 goals in 24 minutes to shock Japan 3-2. So I believe now we're down to 10 teams still in the World Cup. Quarterfinals will be all set after tomorrow.
Wow. All right. Thanks, Case.
We'll be right back.
Help News 5 get the facts right. If you see news happening, contact News 5 by phone or email.
All right, our first day of our Dollywood ticket giveaway, and congratulations, Kimberly Weeks of Gray, Tennessee. You won 2 tickets to Dollywood, and you all can sign up to win at WCYB.com. Daily winners get 2 tickets, and you could win the grand prize of 2 more Dollywood tickets, 4 Splash Mountain tickets, and a 2-night stay in a Dollywood Smoky Mountain Cabins. So tune in every day at 6 p.m. to see if you're a winner. That sounds like a lot of fun, don't you think, guys?
It does.
Yeah, and our viewers really love that.
Why not?
Want to sign up?
You know, and with this hot weather, splashing around is the thing you want to be doing to stay cool. Anyway, good heavens, look at that. The temperature's so hot that it's running into the time there on our Tuesday.
That's hot.
You've broken it, eh?
So low to mid-90s for highs tomorrow.
All right, thank you, and thanks for having us in for the news.
We'll see you back here for News 5 tonight at 11.